Alright, this is Sometimes the Stars Fall. It is a submission to the NWA Holiday Exchange of 2024. Okay, so Sometimes the Stars Fall by In the Evening Sunrise, or I guess For the Evening Sunrise. Read by Bunny_Hop. Summary. Class 1A goes out together to spend time away from everything. Of course, nothing goes as planned, and the bad things happen. Izuku has to make a decision between the harm of another and harm of himself. He's never been good at prioritizing himself. Ochako can't help the smile that seems like it's taking up permanent residence on her face today. Meandering through the small festival and booths set up at the mall with her closest friends is absolutely something to smile about in her world. They hadn't had enough to smile about lately with the onslaught horror the war has been. Everyone is here now, though, having visited the shrine earlier, the handful of them that participate dragging everyone else to join in. Their class needs all the luck it can get, and if this helped, all the better. Ochako reaches up absently to touch the omamori where it is tucked away, looking over to smile at Deku, where he is, locked in a conversation with Katsuki. Glancing around, she frowns slightly, as she realizes they've lost track of Shoto. He'd been with them when they'd arrived, and she'd heard him talking to Tenya recently. Tenya, where's Shoto? Shoto? He's right here, Tenya starts, before pausing and glancing around in confusion. He was just here. Maybe he stopped to look around at something or wanted to get a gift, or for someone in the group. Ochako is aware of the rest of the group stopping and looking back at her and Tenya, but her focus is on the space behind them. That's not like him, though. I don't think he would just leave without saying something. She nods, glancing around them once more as if Shoto would just materialize if she looked hard enough. It is to no one's surprise that Izuku walks back in the direction they came, determination wearing with the worry on his face. When she first catches sight of Shoto headed towards them, she's relieved he's found them again, and the problem is solved. Nothing could have prepared her for the dead-eyed, blank look on Shoto's face as he stalks toward them. She definitely isn't prepared for Izuku to intercept the first blow from their friend. She can recognize the expressions they both have. To an extent, Deku is a mix of determined and scared, and Shoto, the dead expression reminds her so much of the times she'd seen him terrified, but refusing to show his fear on his face. Shoto isn't responding to anyone, yelling his name, or asking what is happening, as he bears down on Deku again, with fire this time, instead of ice. Fear settles itself deep in their bones. Go. Get people out. I've got this for now. Deku screams back at them in the desperate attempts to get through to Shoto. Someone get Aizawa-sensei, Tenya shouts, as the group breaks apart to help protect the citizens and get them out of danger. She figures out that Shoto is after Deku, and only Deku, as she sees her friend beginning to lead Shoto, follow from the crowd. Much like the sports festival match, it's a mismatch in power, not because Shoto is massively stronger, but because he can see clear as day that Izuku refuses to fight back or even make a move that might harm Shoto. From somewhere she can hear Katsuki yell at him to fight back, but with a determined shake of his head, Deku continues to fight on, the defensive only. It makes sense, she thinks, as she stops a panicked woman from running directly toward the fight. Deku would never hurt someone he loved. He'd rather take all the pain himself instead. As she watches her two friends engage in a most dangerous of dances, Ochako can only hope that Aizawa-sensei can get there in time. She remains as close as is relatively safe from the line of fire, prepared to intervene if there are any more citizens or intercept any flying debris. Dread rises in a wave as she recognizes the fact Deku is beginning to tire, is taking hits, and is missing previously. A bright scarlet burn stands prominently on his cheek, and he bleeds from multiple cuts from ice shards. Please, Aizawa-sensei, he needs you. A cry breaks free from her throat as she sees Deku Deku get knocked back by a burst of ice. For a moment, he doesn't move. As he finally rises, she can see the flickering green glow snaking along his body. Izuku had known something had been wrong from the moment he got a clear look at Shoto's face. His expressions is off, in a way that is clear to Izuku, but he would be hard-pressed to put it into words. His friend doesn't respond to his name being called, his focus honed in entirely on Izuku. "You won't get away with this," Shoto snarls as he throws a cascade of ice at him. Izuku has no idea what Shoto even means by that, but the vicious dance is on from there. Every step vital to drawing Shoto away and protecting the people around them. Somehow, though, it doesn't seem to Izuku like Shoto even sees him, that he doesn't seem to think he's fighting Izuku. They've practiced and sparred together enough by now that they both know each other's moves and patterns nearly perfectly by this point. Shoto is showing none of that knowledge and expectation. As they continue their mismatch, Izuku becomes more and more certain that someone Shoto is seeing is someone else in Izuku's place. His friend still doesn't respond to anyone's cries of his name, and it is all Izuku can do to keep ahead of Shoto's relentless onslaught. He can hear his friends yelling him to fight back, but he cannot. This is one of his closest friends. There is no way Izuku will bring himself to hurt him to protect himself. Izuku can handle the pain. He can't handle deliberately harming Shoto. As he nears his limit, exhaustion starting to weigh heavy on his bones and soul, he senses One for All stirring. He desperately resists the rising influence of the quirk, fear of the results of the quirk getting involved sweeping through him in a tidal wave of emotions that distract him a moment too long. Pain erupts through him as he's thrown backwards and his control slips. Power both his, yet also not his, slimmers through his bodies, casting the area around him green. He wrestles to regain control, but Run for All has had enough of Izuku being hurt. Fighting for control, while also fighting to remain conscious, is too much. He has to let go, one or the other. Izuku can only desperately hope that help is nearby and that Shoto doesn't get hurt too badly in the aftermath of Izuku's failure. There's something incredibly disconcerting about watching his body fight a battle from practically an outsider's perspective. Something in his heart breaks and cries out the first solid blow that hits Shoto, knocking his friend backward to the ground. One for All hesitates, then pauses his onslaught as if considering Izuku's feelings. The hesitation is enough time, and several other teachers appear in the midst of the chaos, including All Might and Aizawa Sensei. Aizawa Sensei immediately makes a beeline for Shoto, hair floating as he cancels Shoto's quirk before he can get another tag in. Well, with the danger over, and adults present to handle it, both Izuku and One for All relax. With that, Izuku's fight for awareness is over, and he slips into the darkness of oblivion. He wakes up to the steady beeping of machines and the low sound of conversation nearby. Opening his eyes, he recognizes the inside of the infirmary at Gue. Both All Might and Aizawa Sensei are sitting nearby, and their conversation ends when they notice him looking at them. "Midoriya, how are you feeling?" Aizawa Sensei asks him. Izuku blinks and considers for a moment. "I feel alright considering. How's Shoto? Is he okay?" "He's recovering, my boy," All Might assures him, moving closer and sitting a comforting hand on his shoulder. "He'll be alright," Aizawa Sensei agrees. "What happened?" Aizawa Sensei frowns before speaking. "We don't know for sure, but it seems like it had to have been some kind of quirk that caused a hallucination, an alternate reality Todoroki listened that led to him think you were something you weren't. He truly thought he was stopping a rising group of evildoers. Ooh, duels. He was stopping a rising group of evildoers, not fighting his own friends. I hated fighting him, but I couldn't let him." Izuku trails off, tears slipping free and cascading down his face. "Oh my boy, I'm so sorry," All Might says as he carefully opens his arm to offer a hug. Izuku immediately accepts the offer and folds it into the safety and warmth and support offered by the man. "You did good, problem child. Neither of you suffered any severe injuries, and you kept the damage contained to the best of your ability. There are some pros that wouldn't have done as well." Aizawa states, in that no-nonsense way of his. Izuku shudders slightly, remembering the loss of control, and All Might's arms tighten around him in response, and Aizawa-sensei squeezes his shoulder reassuringly. You'll both be alright. There's support for you. We will do what we can to help you too. I won't promise it'll be immediate, but you both go past this. Aizawa-sensei says, before quietly exiting the room, leaving Izuku and All Might together. I'm proud of you, All Might says fiercely. Proud of the hero you are becoming. Tucked in the warmth of his mentor's hug, Izuku can't help but believe that it'll be okay in the end. He wants to talk to Shoto and for the rest of his friends, but that can wait. For now, he is here, in this moment, and he's loved and cared for, and that is the balm he needs to start healing. Alright. Notes are, hello Eve, happiest of the holidays to you. Hope you enjoyed this. I was particularly excited about the prompt option you gave. The plot went a little feral during the course of writing it. Lol. There are so many cool ideas to explore, and I had trouble not going down all the rabbit holes. Alright, I really love this fic and the creativity of it. The link will be in the description, and I hope you enjoy. Bye!